Hey guys, today or this evening, I'm going to be servicing my Toro push mower. This is the Recycler 22-inch. It is electric start, so I do got the charger plugged into it right now, charging the battery in it. But we're going to go over taking the blade off, getting the blade sharp, changing the oil, air filter, spark plug, and I'm also going to show you how to check your fuses on your battery just in case you're having issues with yours not starting. So first thing I'm going to do is, this thing's really dirty. First thing I want to do is go ahead and pop the blade off. All right, now I use an impact gun. I'm not using a real aggressive impact gun or anything like that, but that's what I use to take my blade off. Putting it on, you can do the same thing. You probably just want to adjust your torque, or if you don't trust yourself, just use a ratchet. But there we go. So we're just going to set this to the side right now. I'm not really worried about sharpening it at the moment, which it's beat up pretty good. I must have hit something with it last year, or I did mow just last Saturday with it. I just wanted to get one cut done before I'm gonna fertilize this weekend. I think we're officially done with cold spells, so I should be all right to go ahead and do some fertilizing. Now, one thing, let me bring the camera in here and I'll show you guys. All right, one thing that's going to be a little challenging is this piece here is where your belt hooks to, and I think my belt's fine on it. I don't need to mess with that at all. But I don't know if I can get it to where you guys can see it here. I'll try to get the camera adjusted. Right here is your drain plug for the oil, which obviously you got to pull that plug with the motor sitting downward, but it's right underneath this. I think somebody from Ford might have designed this. It looks like something they would do. All right, guys, so these two bolts that hold this bracket in place, it looks like, are going to be a 13 millimeter. Let's go ahead and knock these off. There we go. That'll make the oil draining a lot easier. And it gives you a good time to clean this piece up too if you wish to. I might hit it with a wire brush or something, nothing crazy. But all right. Now this mower only holds, what size oil? How much oil did I get? I can't remember what this bottle is. 18 ounces, I guess. Yeah, so this is the oil that I got for it right here. It's actual Briggs & Stratton regular oil, SAE 30s what the motor calls for, and it's 18 ounces of oil. It don't take a whole lot at all. So what I'm going to do now, to get that out, actually, you know what? I'm going to set you guys all back here a little bit so you can see a little better. All right, guys, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way right now. And then what we're going to do is break this loose. I have just an old Tupperware bowl because the only oil drain pan I have is massive and it's not even going to fit under this thing. So what I'm thinking is this should be just for a, yeah, so that'll fit in there. And I am going to use just a ratchet on this. We'll try to break it loose and then we'll see if we can, oh man, see if we can tilt it down without oil running freaking everywhere. Or I hope. I bought this mower used last year off a guy over in, about an hour from here. But he said everything was good to go on it. And I checked the oil on it and the oil level was fine. So just kind of took his word for it. There we go. I didn't make too much of a mess. Let's see if I can just roll it right on down now. Let it keep draining. Perfect. All right, the plug's on here, so that's good. Let me get a rag, clean this plug off. So while that's draining, we're going to go ahead and swap out our spark plug, put the new one in it. I ain't going to lie to you guys. I know that we should gap these or check the gap. I don't even have a gauge to check the gap. I probably used to have one. Well, I know I used to, but I don't know where it's at. But we're going to go ahead and get this stuff done. It is loose because I did take spark plug out last weekend just to look at it. And I verified that I wanted to replace it. So here's what the old one, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it. The camera might not focus on that. There we go. That's the old one. it looks pretty rough. It's due for a new one. Here's the new one. You can tell a big difference in them. So I did put a new spark plug in it last year because I was having trouble with it starting, and might still be having issues. I'm not real sure, but I don't know. Anywho, let's get this tightened up. And now we're going to swap out the air filter in it. I bought a new air filter. This came off Amazon. It's a Briggs & Stratton air filter. So let's see where we're at. Yeah, it's done draining. I only made a very small mess, so that ain't too bad. We'll get some rags put on it, and let's turn it back over and put this plug in. Let's see here. Spilled a little bit just on that, tipping it back there, but that oil looks pretty bad. I know I took that man's word for it. He changed oil in it right before I bought it, but he probably didn't, honestly. That's all right. This motor actually ran really good last year. Like I said, I had some issues with it with the electric start, and I have issues with it with the pull start too, where it just seems like it starts really hard, but I don't know. I don't even know how old this is. I know that Toro does not make these anymore. That could be a bad thing. You never want to over tighten your drain plug. Keep that in mind. You will, if you go cranking on it, you could very easily crack the whole housing to the motor. And then, well, then your servicing's done because you can just throw the motor away after that. But, so yeah, don't do that. All right, I don't know. Let me get this oil out of the way before I keep going here. I don't know if I want to put the blade back on or if I just want to buy a new blade. And the only reason I say that, let me show it to you. I can probably sharpen it and get it out of here, get this blade to go for another year, but I've got some major gouges in it right here. You can see it's kind of chewed up on that side. This other side don't look bad, but it does need sharpened. It's as dull as could be right now. But man, I don't know. We'll see if we can put an edge on it. I don't know if I can or not. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and dump our motor oil in. Like I said, it's gonna take the whole container of it, and then we'll check our oil on the dipstick here. We're just gonna let it drip for a minute, right? Okay, now we're gonna work on the back of the motor. All right, now we're on the back side of the motor, and if you notice, mine don't have the plastic guard or little deal it's supposed to help the grass lay, like put some stripes in your yard or whatever. Mine don't have that. I took it off actually. That's why we don't have one. The reason I did that is this is just a concrete brush. It's a 24 or a broom. It's a broom for doing concrete finish work, right? You can see I cut a little bit off of it. I took it down to 22 inches because that's what my motor is. I use a broom on the back of mine. I know there's companies out there, actually Toro I think makes a yard striping roller. I think there's one called Big League Rollers. There's a few different companies that make them. A lot of people make them homemade out of PVC pipe, which I even done that once back in the day with a mower I had. It worked okay, but it was so heavy, and you always had this big roller just moving back everywhere behind you while you were mowing. So basically the whole point of a roller, if you're trying to put stripes in your yard, and if you know what I'm talking about, basically you're trying to make your yard look like a baseball field, you know, have the real cool striping in it. The only reason the broom does the same thing as a roller, all you're doing is laying the grass down. You're not, the rollers, you know, they're not crushing it down or anything like that. It's just pushing the grass to one direction, kind of like parting your hair, basically. So that's all you're trying to achieve with the brush or a roller. And the brush is a heck of a lot cheaper than making a new roller and then having to deal with that thing hanging on the back there. So we're going to use that. I'm going to get, let's check this oil real quick. They're perfect. It's awesome. All right. So let's get this brush mounted on here. I've got it just sitting on there right now. We got to tilt it up a little bit and put the flat washer and the nut on them, the lock nuts. So I'm going to fast forward through all this, and we'll be back here in just a minute. All right, folks. There you go. Now our brush is put on. Now I will tell you something about I keep calling brush, the broom, brush, whatever it is. But so here's one thing you got to kind of look for. See, this one is, you probably can't see that. Pull the camera over here for you guys. So we're really close to it touching. Looks like it's, that's pretty good actually. So I got the mower set right now. I know my motor deck looks really high, but that's the mowing height I want. We're going to be at about, I'd say like 3.5 inch cut right there. So your broom will move with the deck. So if you lower your deck, your broom's going to lower. I ended up taking it off last fall, right at the end when I did the video with the detaching and scarifying the yard, and then I reseeded and fertilized last fall. I took the brush off because I had the deck low. I mean, I was really taking the grass down to nothing really. So I took it off because if you go too low, this thing is going to mess up. So I think it's going to be good though for another year or so. And well, I think it'll work. So let me turn y'all off for a minute here. We do got to put our bracket back on. I'll be right back. I know I told you I was going to clean this thing off and I didn't at all. I didn't lie to you, I just forgot. But it's good enough. The underside is not really that bad. I mean, there's a little bit of built up on it, but nothing horrible. How did this go on here? Does anybody remember? I think it went just like that. I don't know. Sometimes I have to refer back to pictures or a part of the video that I just filmed because I don't remember how I took something apart, but oh well. Stand it back up on all fours. And there we go. I'm not going to start it tonight, so I don't know what y'all think I'm going to. You know what? Actually, we probably could. Let me see here. This would be a good time to test our key. Nothing. Huh. Wow. All right. Now, I did break this switch off over the weekend. I don't think it's upside down, though. That looks like the correct way, which I don't think it matters, honestly, because they're both hot wires. I mean, the keys is basically splitting it. We ain't getting nothing. So let's go ahead and check our battery out because there are fuses back there. All right, guys. So to get to where your battery's at, you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. So let me grab that real quick. All right. I had this thing charging for like a whole day. I mean, it should be charged up now unless I messed it up by not having it charged. It died on me, or the battery finally lost charge because I don't have power in my shed and storing the motor in the shed. I guess I just kept forgetting to leave it in the garage after one time of mowing and letting it charge. And the battery finally died. So I went to pull starting for the rest of the mowing season, which wasn't really that long. It was probably maybe a month. So like 4 times, you know. But anyhow, I don't even know how you get in this thing. Okay, guys, this is really embarrassing. This is really horrible preventative maintenance on my part, but there was a lot of grass up in that whole battery area and on the battery. I didn't even know that was possible for it to get plumb full of grass like this, so that's probably not very acceptable on my part. I mean, this thing is just full of grass clippings, and I don't even know how. Holy crap. I don't even know how we got all this grass in here. Jesus. All right, so what I want to do, well, that's why I couldn't pull the damn thing out. It was full of grass. What I want to do, though, is tip the battery or the mower back over real quick. I'm pretty sure I saw a harness or a wire plug underneath the deck right here. So if there is, I'll show it to you guys. There's got to be a way though. That battery's plugged in somehow because there's not really terminals. There's terminals on the battery, but they're taped up. I'm assuming they're probably supposed to be. I don't know if you're supposed to unplug these. I guess at this point it don't really matter because this thing is Now the battery probably ain't even no good on it, to be all honest. Here we go. About to roll off table. Okay, so just wanted to see if there's any markings. Okay, we got a positive and negative, so at least that way we know which one goes where if I get them all. Well, that one's extremely corroded. That one's not. But this is your battery right here. See if you guys can see that. That's the battery to the mower. It's a BP312. I don't know, it just says BB battery, VRLA rechargeable battery. So that could be part of my problem here. I'm still shocked how this is so full of grass. Like, where is it coming from? Why did they not make this an enclosed housing or something, you know? But I really thought the mower would start right up for you guys and kind of made a fool out of me. But anyways, here's where your fuse is at. Still trying to figure out how to, there we go. Let's get that out of there. And it does come with a spare fuse, which I don't even know if spare fuse is any good. That one looks like it's good. Now, believe it or not, one thing I don't have a daggone test light anymore, or a volts meter. So that probably ain't gonna help us none right now at the moment, trying to figure out what's wrong with this. And there's my screw. All right, so we got a couple options. I'm either gonna have to stop here for this evening and not do nothing else till I get a volts meter. All right, guys, it's the same night. I'm back. I got messing with something here. So I had a thought process. I mean, the old jumper wires hooked up to my Milwaukee battery. I did unhook the spark plug because I don't want this thing to actually start. I just want to see if we get any reaction. All right, so I'm about 100% sure now from doing that small little test right there. One, I probably need to, let me unhook this stuff before we, yeah, that wire got hot quick. And I think that's because this is an 18 volt and that's only a 12 volt. That's okay though. We didn't burn nothing down. So I'm guessing more than likely my battery's probably trash. So we know everything else is working like it should. And the battery's just not taking the charge no more, which I can't really blame the battery. I mean, it's, who knows how old it is. I don't see a date on these, kind of like most batteries have. I don't see no markings on it at all besides what we saw right up here, you know. So I guess I'll look online, see if we can find a replacement battery for it. And I'm also going to replace at least the negative terminal. Might do both, I don't know. This one's really corroded, the negative one is, so we might have to replace that. But I'll look online, see if I can find a battery. I'll let y'all, keep y'all updated on that. If it's really expensive, I'm not going to do it because, you know, I bought this mower used and I ain't that worried about it. So still curious how grass got all up in here though. That's really amazing, the amount of junk that's in this area. I'm gonna get that all cleaned up. But so yeah, next time we come back on this mower, we will be, no, it's dust. I thought we had smoke rolling up in here for a minute, making me nervous. But excuse me. Anyhow, next time we're back on this one, we're either going to be sharpening the blade or just replacing the blade. Haven't really decided on that yet. And we'll be working on this battery. We're either going to put a new battery in it and we'll replace these terminals and hopefully get this thing running. I got